Right now, there's a viral claim going around online that if you get arrested during a protest, that risks your right to vote. Evan Kosloff verifies.
The Verify team is here to fact check the suspicious things you see online. And with protests and an upcoming election, there's just a lot of misleading information going around. Just take a look at these tweets that claim that people arrested at Black Lives Matter protests will lose their right to vote. So let's verify. Will being arrested at a protest cause you to lose your voting rights? First, our researchers traced the source of those tweets back to articles out of Tennessee with headlines like this: protesters in Tennessee could now lose their right to vote. Our sources are the official records and information from the Tennessee General Assembly, the governor's office, and the Secretary of State. First, we should give you a little back history on what's been going on here. For the past 2 months, protesters have been demonstrating and occupying the plaza out front of the Capitol in Nashville around the clock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 5 on third and final consideration.
In response, the Tennessee legislature passed and Governor Bill Lee signed new legislation revising certain criminal laws surrounding protest-related offenses. It goes into effect on October 1st. Here's the part of the law that people are referencing. The bill increases punishment for illegal camping on state property from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class E felony. And that's punishable by up to 6 years in jail. And according to the Secretary of State, convicted felons in Tennessee lose their right to vote and have to appeal to the state to have them restored. So we can verify that false. You can't lose your voting rights for being arrested during a protest. But we can verify that a protester would lose their voting rights if they're convicted of a felony in Tennessee after this law goes into effect. With your Verify, this is Evan Kosloff.